Hey y'all, it's Corey with Everyday Man, doing everyday reviews for everyday people. And first of all, I'd like to say that our thoughts and prayers are with you guys in Lake Charles and out in West Louisiana. Delta came through last night, and I'm sure it wasn't easy. You guys just had another one past 6 weeks ago. And my thoughts and prayers are with you guys, and I hope everything turns out all right. But anyway, on this week's episode, I'm doing a review of the SpyPoint cellular camera system, and we'll get to it right after this. All right, y'all. So like many of you out there, I got hunting property. And I got hunting property that happens to be about 3 hours away from my house. So if I wanted to keep an eye on what's going on, I decided a cellular camera was going to be the way to go. And I bought my first one around 3 years ago, and I bought a SpyPoint Link Evo. Now the one I bought was an AT&T service camera, which SpyPoint doesn't sell anymore. They sell two now. One is a nationwide and one is a VZN, which I'm guessing is Verizon. I'm not exactly sure. But I've been using these cameras for a while, and I'm gonna kind of tell you if you may need one, may want one, what to look for, and what you can expect from your camera. Now, first thing you'll notice is with SpyPoint, they're actually pretty easy to set up. The app has changed here recently. The app used to be a little more cumbersome, a little outdated. Now it's a new app, which is really nice. I've hooked two cameras up to it since, and it was really easy to do. But with that being said, my older AT&T camera, which is this one right here, when the app updated, it stopped sending me a time and a date stamp. And I've gotten in touch with SpyPoint. I've called them 3 times here in the last week. I've emailed them, and they've given me instructions on how to update the firmware, which I successfully did. The camera has the new and up-to-date firmware, and they also gave me instructions on how to do a factory reset on the camera, hoping that it would resume sending a time and date stamp. Well, it hasn't. It hasn't. So having a camera with no time and date stamp is kind of a pain. I'll be honest with you. It makes it useless. It makes it useless to a point. I will say this: I use this camera. I aim it at my camp when it's not hunting season, and I'm gonna show you guys the app here in a few minutes. I'm gonna show you some pictures. But when it's not hunting season, I do aim it at my camp and use it as a security camera. Now, without the time and date stamp, I'm okay with that. If I see somebody's pickup truck coming through and I don't recognize it, I know there's an issue, and I can get in touch with my neighbors and they can go check it out for me. Now, another thing, like I said, this camera was an AT&T camera, and around my camp, which is in Roxley, Mississippi, I get fairly good AT&T service. Now, just last week, I turned on a new camera that I got, and it is the VZN version, which, like I said, I'm assuming it's Verizon, and I'm not real sure. But I turned that on, and it was getting horrible service at my property. Now, I do have one of the external cameras antennas hooked to it, so it was decent enough to start transmitting pictures. But that was at the front of my property. This AT&T camera at the front of my property has always gotten good signal, and when I move towards the back, which I got a road that runs through my property, it's probably 3/4 of a mile long, and towards the end of that road, even my AT&T service gets sketchy. So I did buy the antenna to put on this camera, and it works fine. Now, like I said, that Verizon or that VZN is on the front of my property, and I have to have the antenna on it in my front yard to transmit pictures. Now, this new one, this nationwide one that I just turned on, I'm not exactly sure how the service is going to be at my camp because it's here at my house in South Louisiana. So I'll have to figure that out. Now, one thing you want to know with these cameras is they do offer a free service. And I'll tell you about that in just a moment. Let's get to the app and take a look at the app. All right? I'll see y'all in just a second. All right, y'all. So let's take a look at the app. Let's open up SpyPoint here. And when you open it, you can see I got the 3 cameras hooked up. Now, it shows you this one that's named Corey's Cam. That's my original camera. That is my AT&T camera. And right here at my house, you can see it's got 25% service. Well, one thing about this is this will show you the status as of last time it transmitted. So I've got it turned off right now, but it's showing 25 service. That's what it had last time. 81% battery. and you can go through. The Link Evo is the newest one I just turned on with the nationwide service, and right here at my house it's got 40%. And the Link W is the one that is in my front yard right now with the external antenna, and you can see it's actually got 50% service on it. But if you go through and click on your status, it'll give you a little more information. It'll show you your firmware version, which I can assure you it is up to date. You can go through and look at your settings. You got your basic settings, photo, video. I've never done video with them. I've always done photo. I've never tried time lapse. When you get into the cellular plans, they're counted by pictures. And I think if you start doing time lapse or video, it'll change what you got pretty dramatically. You can go with a delay. I always keep mine on instant. I want to see what's going on all the time, but you can delay it up to 30 minutes. Let's see, multi-shot. I always wanted to send 2 pictures when it takes one. It's just a preference of mine. I keep the sensitivity set on high, which as you'll see here in a minute, I do get a lot of empty pictures from trees blowing and stuff. So maybe high is not the best way to go. But I also don't want to miss any animals walking. As far as your cellular setup, first transfer time. So I have mine set to transmit at each detection, or you can go 1 time a day, 2 times a day, 6 times a day, or 12. So that's where your first transfer time will start to get into that. So if I got it set to go 1 time a day, it'll go at 1:15 in the morning. As far as advanced configuration, it's just the date and the time format, Fahrenheit. Night mode boost, it's supposed to take better pictures at night. Optimal would be better for your battery and your power source. I got mine on AA. You can get a lithium battery for them, or you can actually get a solar rechargeable lithium battery if you would like. Now I'm going to show you my pictures. So I just planted my front yard, and like I said, I got the sensitivity set on high, so it does take a lot of empty pictures. But as you can see, it takes a pretty decent picture. This is in the bright sunlight with shadows, and you can see the contrasts are pretty good. Now, a lot of times, if there's a deer off in the distance or in the shadow, it'll be hard to see. But I've got a picture of a deer right here coming up, but you really got to be looking for it. I'm going to try and find that little guy. So this is since last weekend. We just finished our food plots, and I don't know if you can see him, but there he is down there. Got his butt pointed at the camera for us. Got his little flag waving. So you can see it takes pretty good pictures. Now let me show you some night pictures from last night, actually. All of these pictures were from me messing with this camera, trying to get my time and date stamp. And as you can see, it does not have a time and a date stamp. And that's the reason I brought this camera home. But so I took a lot of pictures with it. I did a lot of setup with it. Now here's a daytime picture with another deer. This is from yesterday or the day before, I believe. And this is a not so bright daylight picture, and you can see the picture's actually better when it's not harsh daylight. But let's go look. I had a coyote run through my yard last night, and let's go take a look at it. So you can see here's a night picture. Looks like a coyote was running in front of the camera, and just a few minutes later I had a little deer on there. Little guy was probably trying to hide from a coyote at some point. But so it takes pretty decent pictures. If you pull the SIM card, not the SIM card, if you pull the SD card and look at it on a card reader, it'll be higher definition pictures. But this is the pictures it does transmit, and it's not bad. Now, if we go into plans, this is what I wanted to show you. So my AT&T cam right now, I have at the premium, it's $10 a month. And what that gives you is unlimited photos. Now, with it not sending a time and a date stamp, I'm going to be turning that off, and I'll probably go with a less expensive plan. Now, your next plan is 1,000 photos per month, and that is $7, or you can get a basic, which is 250 photos for $4. Now, like I said, there is a free service, and it's 100 photos a month you do not have to pay for. And that should be sufficient for some people. But I would suggest, if you really want to know what's going on, and if you're like me, you want 2 pictures sent at a time, and you want you want it set to high sensitivity where it takes a lot of pictures. These cameras do take a lot of pictures with wind blowing and everything. So I do pay for mine just to know what's going on. So guys, that's a look at the app. I just wanted to show that to y'all. It really takes decent pictures, man. And overall, I'm pretty happy with the performance of the camera. So let me go ahead and turn this off, and I'll get back where you guys can see me. I'll see y'all in just a bit. All right, y'all. So as you can see, they really take decent pictures, and you will be able to see what's going on your property when you're not there, which is the absolute point of a cell phone trail cam. Now, with this guy not sending me a date and a time stamp, that is disappointing. These cameras have a 2-year warranty on them, and this one is out of warranty. And I'm still gonna try and contact them again and see if there's anything else they can do. And I'm not real sure if that's gonna happen. Now, these cameras on Amazon are around $285 a piece today. Now, SpyPoint does make several different versions. This is the Link. They make a micro, they make a bunch of different ones. Now, one of my buddies had a micro, and we had that on my property for a little while, and it took pictures just as good as these. But the Link was the first one I bought, and then my wife bought me another one for Christmas last year. And she bought the same one I had, so this is just what I ended up with. And somebody else gave me another one, is why I've got a brand new one now. But I've been pretty happy with them. Before the app was updated, when it was a bit more cumbersome, and it seemed like I had a lot more problems with them. In fact, the SpyPoint Links don't have real good reviews, and most of them are older reviews because they were a bit finicky with the SD cards, it seemed like. And of course, anytime you got a problem with them, the first thing customer service is going to tell you to do is reformat your card. Well, when your camera is 3 hours away and you don't have a computer or a camera together, you can't reformat it. So you'd have to bring it home or bring your computer with you. And then most people don't have Wi-Fi or internet service at their camp. So now you definitely got to bring the camera back home just so you can get to your computer. But like I said, now the app's been updated. The app's much better. The cameras are really easy to set up and use. And I'm happy with them. I don't find it's real expensive. Now, the premium service is $10 a month. That's if you pay annually. If you do pay by month, I believe it goes up to $15 a month. So with 3 cameras, that can get a bit expensive. But like I said, I'm going to be taking this one off that premium service because I don't have a date and a time stamp. So each camera does have to have its own plan. You can't bundle them together with SpyPoint. That's kind of a downside to it. But it just so happens to be the first one I bought when I was looking into it, and now I have a few. I've accumulated a few of them. So that's my review, guys. They are pretty decent cell phone cameras. They do send good pictures, and they're fairly reliable. Now, when you do have issues with them, it can become a pain. Customer service can take a while to get in touch with. And sometimes they just don't have a fix. But with all of that said, would I buy another one? Absolutely, I would. They do transmit pictures like they're supposed to. And when you're running this thing on lithium AA batteries, the batteries last an extremely long time. I'm talking about 6-7 months. You really don't have to worry about them. Now, one thing I do like, it comes with this clip and the strap for the tree. And this thing clips to this camera. So when you do need to take it off the tree, you don't have to unstrap it. It just pops right out of this clip and the strap can stay there. You don't have to re-aim it or anything. It just snaps right back on. That's pretty neat. So with all that said, guys, if you're still here and you like my video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And if you would like to purchase an Everyday Man sticker, I will have that information down below on how to do that. And you can show your pride for being part of the Everyday Man Nation. I will also have a link to these cameras, and check them out, man. They're a good option if you need to see what's going on your place. And until next time, y'all, I'll see you on Everyday Man.